Hey guys, how's it going? So I literally just got done with the Bible study with some of my students at Tomahawk, and they're great. I can't tell you how good the students are around there. We talked about lately at Tomahawk. Where I serve as the youth minister, and my friend Christian serves as the minister there. He's been talking about in Ecclesiastes. He's been talking. He's been preaching in Ecclesiastes, and he's been talking about Solomon, and it's been a lot about wisdom. And so I decided that we're going to go through the first 3 chapters of Proverbs, which was also written by Solomon. So we're going to go through Proverbs chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. So verse 1, it says, the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. So we know who writes it. 2 through 4. For learning what wisdom and discipline are, for understanding insightful sayings, for receiving wise instruction in righteousness, justice, and integrity, for teaching stewardship to the inexperienced, knowledge and discretion to a young man. So when you start a new job, anybody, when you go to a new school, when you move from middle school to high school, when you move from high school to college, when you get a job at Walmart, when you get a job at Arby's, when you get a job at Buffalo Wild Wings, when you get a job anywhere, you'll probably have to train. So especially retail businesses and fast food and food industry business like to do, they will pair the newbie up with someone who's experienced, and basically tell the experienced person, show them how we do it. It's a very simple concept. And it's a very simple concept that we need to take within the world in guiding people through Christianity and guiding through people through the Bible. We need to take that concept. So we need people to try to wisen people up. Tell people how to do it. Tell people how to read the Bible. One of the things I like to tell my students and tell other people is, you don't give a 16-year-old keys to a car and say good luck. Why would you do that with the Bible? Why would you just hand someone the Bible who just accepted Christ and say good luck? That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to train people. We're supposed to pass the wisdom on that some of us who's been Christians a little bit longer than others, have a little more experience. Learning wisdom and discipline, understanding insightful sayings, for receiving instructions in righteousness, justice, and integrity. Teaching stewardship to the inexperienced. That's what we're doing. We're teaching people how to live as Christ followers to the inexperienced. Because most people who have never experienced the saving knowledge of Christ don't understand is, you just don't come in all of a sudden knowing all the Bible. You don't come in all of a sudden you can quote 18 Bible verses. You don't come in going, no, now you have to train. Now, there you go. So, we need people to teach the inexperienced. And you might see them in the forms of Sunday school teachers, small group teachers, pastors, a co-worker, a friend, parents, big sister, big brother, anything like that. So even Solomon is over here going, hey, wisdom needs to be passed. Wisdom needs to be shared. You need to receive it with righteousness, justice, and integrity. Verses 5 through 7. A wise man will listen, increase his learning, and a discerned man will obtain guidance. Now, I want to stop there for a second, because what's that? So now, one of the questions I posed in my Zoom meeting just a minute ago is, how much more do you have to learn when you're 85? How much more do you have to learn when you're already kind of up there in age? How much more do you have to learn when you're already, like, what can I teach Nick Saban about football? I mean, what more does he have to learn? Well, it says here, a wise man will listen and increase his learning. As especially ministers, things are always changing. Things are always changing, and we are always learning. And of course, God's word is so vast that it's always something, or it's always something that we learn. There's always something that I learn all the time, just preparing these lectures and preparing studies and all this. I always learn something new. I listen to these lectures a lot of times, and I'm always learning something about who God is and what His Bible looks like. And that's what we need to understand. It never stops. And one of the funniest things I mentioned about what some of these older people are learning is how to use the internet. Hey, we can use the internet to watch sermons? What? Oh, that's been funny. That's been great. But they've been a lot of people, a lot of older gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, has been doing a great job. For understanding a proverb or a parable, the words of the wise and their riddles. Verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. So, this is the point where I get into about learning, okay? One of the things I hated about any kind of math class was the word problems. Okay, you ask me what 2x plus 3, and I can tell you what x equals, X plus 3. Let's do that one. That's much easier to do in my head. X plus 3. X plus 3 equals 6. I can tell you that x is 3. Right. I think so. Anyway, you get the point. Whenever I have word problems and all of a sudden you're going, oh boy, train leaves station A from here, the track's this long, train B leaves here, and then you're just like, it gets you to thinking. And that's what education is. That's what teachers want you to do. There's stuff like math and science, math and some sciences who are cut and dry. But then there's classes like social studies and English who, it's time for thinking. Okay, and to me, that's what God doesn't want us. God doesn't want to be mindless drones. God does not want us to be just mindless. He wants us to ask questions. He wants us to understand. He wants us to learn. He wants us to make up our own opinion by following Him. That's what God wants. He doesn't want us just to be mindless. I'm going to leave you with verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Now, when it says fear, it's not like being scared of God that He's walking there. Walking in is the respect. It's kind of like disappointing your parents in many ways. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but the fools despise wisdom and discipline. So, guys, let's be wise. Alright? And follow God, and hey, look someone to disciple or mentor you when it comes to anything, when it comes to Christianity, just as you would anything else. Alright? Appreciate your time. Thank y'all. Y'all be safe. Be nice to each other. Alright? Later, guys.